What if you did all of the suggestions that they say in Alcoholics Anonymous? What if you did the meetings? You did the 90-90s. You got the sponsor. You started working on the steps. You eventually found a home group that worked for you. Maybe you have to change your sponsor. Maybe you got to change your home group. What if you just kept going to meetings just like they said from the first day? What if you put recovery first? What if you kept going? What if your brain started to change? What if, your relationship started to change, but then you look back and you're like, you know what? That wasn't a good relationship for me. That person wasn't good for me. That job wasn't good for me. That place where I live wasn't good for me. That court battle didn't work out that way, and that was probably better for me. Oh, and then eventually, this worked out for me, and maybe that court battle did work out for me. Like, what if I started letting my higher power into my life? What if I started having healthier connections in my life? What if I started feeding my soul first before filling everybody else's cup? What if I started to take care of my own feelings, thoughts, and actions, my own decisions? What if I just kept doing that year in, year out? What if I started paying off my debt? You know what? This stuff compounds. That's the thing. It's like there definitely is a barrier in the beginning, and it's rocky for a long time. No doubt. The life is just like, it's all ruined, right? It's got to get fixed and put back together. That stuff takes time. But you can't tell me that if you went to meetings consistently, you got on the phone consistently, you worked out, you got healthier, there's no way doing all that stuff doesn't work, doesn't compound. It all forms together. It all makes something better for yourself. And when you continue, you don't see the results when you're in it, but you always see when you look back, you see, And I think that the greatest gift that I could share from this journey of getting sober is just the fact that it's so not as painful as the beginning. It is so much more freer. It is the freedom that I have today, the freedom to make choices, to trust myself, to love myself, to have the ability to get out of harmful situations that aren't good for me. Those are the things that are just are so solid and worth actually honoring and protecting. But I had to learn that was valuable. I had to learn that for myself, that my peace was the most important thing. I heard it for years. I just don't think for some reason I really believed it for a long time. I kept trying, and I think that's part of it. Just kept trying, working through all that struggle and that pain and those hard times, and kind of feeling like the whole world and life and people are all against me. That was me for a really long time. But continuing, I think, is the key. Because I'm just oh my God, what's scary is thinking, what if I stopped? What if I stopped in one of those struggle moments and I went and pressed that F it button? I'm just so grateful that I didn't stop at those moments because I'd been back there. It's the second that I stop that I stall and everything else stops. But what I'm so grateful for is that even though it was crummy, I just kept going through it and hanging on to my program, putting recovery first. And it has just blossomed tenfold. And I think the best thing is just all the inner stuff, the inner ability that I have today that I never had before. I couldn't make a decision for my life if my life depended on it. I was so shifty and nervous and I was people pleasing. I wanted you to approve of me. I wanted you to love me. I wanted you to validate me. I wanted you to make me feel better and feel okay because I didn't know how to. And I really learned to build safety within myself over time. I started to change my life to make it good for me. I made things, a life good for what works for me, not what works for everybody else. And that took me a long time to figure that out, that, making sure you're okay doesn't eventually make me okay. And I had to quit drinking to be able to get to places where I could start doing that work, because I had a messed up nervous system. I wasn't regulated. I didn't know what my emotions were. I came into Alcoholics Anonymous with 3 emotions. It was pissed off, I was angry, self-pity, and disappointed with life, with where I worked so hard, but I worked hard in the wrong places. I didn't have the connection that I have today with my higher power. I didn't make solid things in my life that counted, that were meaningful. I had ideas and expectations. I had wants, but I was building everything on uneven ground, on shaky ground. I didn't know though. I thought if I just hammered it down harder in that spot, it would stay. And that was not the way. The way was different. And I believe that now with what my higher power is putting in my life. And I am better at getting out of the way now. I'm better going, you put the stuff in front of me. You put the relationships in front of me. I wait and see for a lot of things. I am not as impulsive as I was in the beginning. I am not in my fantasy. I'm not in love with the potential. I'm not attached to so many things. I am unhooked from a lot of things, but super hooked into myself and hooked into my higher power. And I think that's what's so cool. And with those 2 things hooked in, I just have this ability to be so much more authentic. And I think the more authentic I am, the more aligned I am. And that's what is so great about the peace. That's why the peace is here, is because I'm in my truth, and that's the greatest gift that I would have never had if I didn't remove booze, so being an alcoholic was the best thing that's ever happened to me. And if I was faced with the same decision again, I would be so glad that I hit a bottom to get to that program, because it gave me other programs. It gave me other paths that help nurture me and take care of me and give me the life that I'm supposed to have. Not what I think I should have or what other people should think I have, but the life that I truly want. Because my higher power wants me, he wants me to prosper. He wants me to have abundance. He wants me to have this full life, and he wants me to be him. He wants me to be in his image and likeness and be a creator and be who I was supposed to be, not anyone else but that, just who I was supposed to be. And when I'm in that, that zone or lane, and for myself, that's where it's just so freeing and fun to just be who you are. And so a beautiful gift from recovery that I'm so grateful to be able to have that ability and chance to do that today. But back drinking, as an alcoholic, I didn't have a lot of choices, but I sure thought my life was good when I was, in an awful relationship and debt and soul bankrupt and emotionally crazy, so sad and mad and it was awful. I would never want to go back. So just really grateful for sobriety. Bye.